When I was in a less functional state, if I went so nervous about every single needle going into my body that I would almost be having panic attacks in the table. And the thing is, you feel constricted, you can't move, you can't escape. And obviously to a normal person, they're able to take deep breaths and relax, but when you have a hypersensitive nervous system, it's really hard to do that. And as you're anticipating the needles going in and even the slight prick of pain from a needle going in, even if it's just a slight pinch, your brain, remember, when it's hypersensitive, it amplifies any sensations that you feel. So that small prick can actually feel very painful and that can stick with you. How's it going, guys? Miguel here from CFS Recovery. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about acupuncture, chiropractor, or massage therapy services when you are dealing with CFS, long COVID, muscle activation, fibromyalgia, any kind of hypersensitive nervous system issue, and if these things will be helpful for you, if you should do them or you should not do them. Now, I'm gonna be talking from my personal experience. I'm not a medical professional. I did not go to med school. I'm not a doctor. Talking from my personal experience and what I have seen to work with hundreds of people all around the world that I've seen firsthand. Now, I myself, if you don't know about my backstory, I was sick with mysterious, debilitating symptoms on and off for about 4.5 years. At my worst, I was actually completely bedridden for about 7 months, so 6 months completely bedridden at home. The next 2 months I spent at the hospital. The first month I was in ICU, intensive care unit. They really didn't know what was going on. And then eventually it moved me to another wing where I eventually worked my way up from being completely bedridden to a wheelchair, to a walker, to then walking on my own 2 feet, and then eventually rebuilding my life from the ground up. Now, 6 years ago, I was in the hospital, literally in the hospital in the intensive care unit. But today, I'm thriving, I have my life back, I don't deal with any more symptoms, I can work out, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I actually feel the best I've felt in my entire life, even better than I felt prior to getting sick. Now, I have firsthand experience in trying acupuncture, massage therapy, and seeing a chiropractor to try to fix my health issues. And now you know this just as well as I do. When you're in the trenches of this, you're willing to try anything to fix yourself. And typically something happens where you end up in the emergency room, and that's when you realize, okay, this thing is not going away. This is getting pretty severe. I need to do something drastic about this. So typically you'll see your doctors, you'll see the specialists, you'll see naturopaths, functional medicine doctors, you'll try medications and supplements, and you'll try pretty much any modality that will give you some kind of relief. Now, to a normal person, what gives them relief? Things like acupuncture, things like massage therapy and chiropractor sessions. So all of these things serve their purpose, right? Now, acupuncture, massage therapy, chiro, these are all much more accessible than seeing someone like a specialist or a neurologist or endocrinologist. The access to these things is much easier to get to because you simply go to a place or look online, you call them, you sign up for a session, and you do the session. Now, when I was trying these services, here's what I found. They definitely did not help me when I was in a less functional state. So if I was mainly couch-bound or housebound, and I would leave the house just to go to those appointments, it didn't work too well. In fact, someone putting needles into my body or someone, putting their elbow in my body, it actually felt like it made me worse. Because when you're in the stage of being couchbound or housebound or even bedridden, you can't really function and your body is so hypersensitive to anything and everything around you to the point where light is hurting your eyes, even sound is irritating, and you might have food issues. Basically, you feel like your nervous system is on the edge 24/7. Any kind of stimulus registers as stress on your body, or not any, I'd say most stimulus, right? Someone closing the door too loud, someone holding your arm, that might register in your brain as pain or stress or danger. When you're in these states, when you're at a lower level of functioning, these things can actually be detrimental to your nervous system. Now, that's not saying you need to avoid them forever, but what I've found is that when I was in a less functional state, if I went to an acupuncture appointment, I was so nervous about every single needle going into my body that I would almost be having panic attacks in the table. And the thing is, you feel constricted, you can't move, you can't escape. And obviously to a normal person, they're able to take deep breaths and relax, but when you have a hypersensitive nervous system, it's really hard to do that. And as you're anticipating the needles going in and even the slight prick of pain from a needle going in, even if it's just a slight pinch, your brain, remember, when it's hypersensitive, it amplifies any sensations that you feel. So that small prick can actually feel very painful and that can stick with you, which only puts your nervous system into a more stressed state, okay? So what I found with the acupuncture is it actually completely drained me. I didn't have any energy to do anything later in the day. Now, even normal people, when they go to acupuncture, they may feel drained after because it's getting the toxins flowing in your body, it's getting more circulation, it's releasing energy stored in your muscles. But to me, I noticed it was a very stressful event when I was very hypersensitive. And same thing with massage. I actually remember this one time when I was pretty much housebound. Well, not pretty much, I was housebound. I was unable to even walk to the mailbox, right? But this one time I thought, you know what, a massage, it's gonna be good, it's relaxing for me. And up to this point, I had been to maybe 20 or 30 massages in my life. I used to have extended benefits under my parents. I used to play a lot of sports in high school, so I would go to physiotherapy. I would go get these massages after football games and wrestling tournaments, right? So to me, I always saw it as something that was relaxing, something that was restorative, regenerative, and I always felt better after. I always slept better after. It was very relaxing. So I thought that would be the same thing here, because here I am at home with nothing to do. I'm completely wired. I have POTS symptoms. I'm dizzy, and I booked an appointment. I said, this will probably make me feel better. So I remember this one time, I hadn't left my house for maybe 3 weeks at this point. And in the past 2 or 3 months, I left my house just a handful of times. So this one particular day, and this massage place was literally down the block. It was 1 block away. So I get into my car, I drive to the massage place, I walk inside, and even that, I was starting to feel my body tense up because this is more activity than I was used to. Now, I lay down on the table and I remember it's not like she was pressing super hard or anything. She wasn't digging into any trigger points. If she was using that pressure on any other day, it would have felt fine. I've felt more intense massages, but she was digging her elbow into a few knots on my back and my legs. And I remember my body, it was having a pretty wild stress response. I started sweating. My heart rate actually started going up, and it was everything but relaxing. And I remember about 10 minutes in, I was like, this sucks. It feels like that feeling where you're watching a horror movie and you're waiting for the jump scare to come. You're really tense. You don't know if this ghost is gonna jump out of this corner or if a loud sound is gonna come about. It's that kind of feeling where I was just so tense and so wired, ready to explode. But she was massaging my calves, massaging my neck. But it got to a point where it actually hurt. It started registering as pain on my body, similar to the acupuncture, right? Now, it is a little bit of pain on the acupuncture, but typically you get a prick and then she leaves it in and then the pain goes away, but the pain stuck. So it's almost like every time she pressed into my muscles, I felt a little bit of soreness and tenderness. But normally that tenderness and that little bit of pain, it goes down. But because my brain was so hypersensitive and it was interpreting these sensations as pain, as danger, the pain would build up. So I'd feel pain, then she'd let go, but the pain wouldn't go down. And then she'd massage other areas of my back or, my hamstrings or calves, and it would add to the pain and add to the pain. So by the end of the session, I felt like I was so wound up and so wired, and my pain level was very high by the end. And I remember sitting in my car and I felt wiped out. And I knew from that point that was a big mistake. So that's not to say that these things will never work. I just think if you are at a less functional place where you're very hypersensitive, these things can actually work against you because your body doesn't register it as something that's relaxing. It registers almost any stimulus as danger for your body. So I wouldn't do it if you're less functional, but here's where I would do it. And today I go to acupuncture. I do it every 2 or 3 weeks. I go to massage therapy. I go to physio every now and then. And I actually feel amazing after. I feel like it helps me stay healthy, not just structurally and physically, but it even helps me with my sleep. So I would start introducing these things when you're more functional, when you can walk outside without having to worry about how many steps you're doing, when you're able to drive and go see your friends. when you're at a level of almost normal functioning, that's a good time to start introducing these things. And I remember this is also how I slowly started working out again. Before I started working out, I started doing acupuncture every, I think it was 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. And I actually felt a difference. I felt that my symptoms would be less. It would take more for me to trigger an adjustment period. And if you don't know what an adjustment period is, you could click this video up here where I go into detail what an adjustment period is. It's essentially a flare-up or an increase of symptoms. It's not a bad thing. It's literally your body adjusting to a new level of stimulus. No different from you working out at the gym and your muscles adapting to the heavier weights by getting sore and building on top of itself. So even to this day, I actually do these practices. But if I were to go back in time, knowing what I know now, I never would have done it if I was in a lower functioning level, because things that you do in different stages of recovery will have different effects. If you do things that you're able to do normally, if you do it when you're in the trenches, it's not going to work well for you. For example, if I listen to some electronic music, like EDM music, right? And it's really good. I'm at the gym, I'm pumping the weights and I'm getting in the zone, my adrenaline's going, that feels really good. In fact, the other day I tested it. I couldn't sleep for a few days. I don't know why, my mind was just racing. And I know why, it's because I had laser eye surgery. So that's why I don't have glasses right now. But I had laser eye surgery, so I couldn't do anything for like 3 days, really anything physical. I wasn't exerting myself. So I had all this energy built up inside and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep until 5 or 6 a.m. Normally I'll sleep at 11 or 12. So once I was able to function again and do normal things and work out, I said, I'm gonna go to the gym and burn off all this extra energy. I'm gonna go hard so that way I'm tired and I can have a better sleep. So I went to the gym and I remember thinking, wow, I never would have done this when I was sick, obviously, because 2 minutes running, even 20 seconds of running, that would give me POTS for an hour straight or even multiple hours. But I was on the rowing machine sprinting, going as hard as I can for about 3 minutes straight, right? I rode 1 kilometer as fast as I could. My heart rate, I calculated it was about 160 or 170. And I remember thinking back to the days where if my heart rate got that high, I was wrecked for several weeks. And the only time it would reach that high was when I would get panic attacks or I would end up in the emergency room and I would think I'm gonna die from, chest pain or shortness of breath. But in this case, my heart rate was about 160 or 170. And then within, 10 minutes, it was back down to about 80 beats per minute or 90 beats per minute. And then I had one of the best sleeps I had in about a week after that workout. So that's an example of doing something later on in my recovery journey. Now I'm recovered already. I'm continuing to optimize my body. There's always room for improvement, right? And I filmed another video about this where what does it mean to be recovered, which you can find it up here. There is no finish line. You're constantly optimizing your body to be more efficient and to be more anti-fragile. So back to what I was saying, I rode as hard and as fast as I could for however long it took to get to 1 kilometer. And I had a great sleep at night. So that's an example of doing something that works in my benefit when I'm more functional. Whereas if I try to do 1/100th of that when I was sick, it would make me way worse. So going back to what I was saying, there are things you can do when you're more functional that will work to your benefit, but will be detrimental if you do them too early in your recovery. Another example, and I won't get too deep into it, is something like therapy. The reason why a lot of emotional release or trauma therapy does not work well when you're in the trenches of CFS is because your body, your nervous system cannot handle that level of emotion at that stage. So people ask me all the time, hey, do you think it would be a good idea to go solve this trauma? Because that could be causing all of this. And I say it really depends. How functional are you? Do you find that you have mood swings? Do you find that you're more sensitive to someone's emotions? If you watch a sad movie, do you cry instantly? If you watch a violent movie, can you not handle it? If you watch a horror movie, do you get scared very easily? Because the lower level of functioning you are, the more sensitive your nervous system is, and the more sensitive you are to emotions. So that's why some people can watch 10 minutes of a Disney movie, something they've seen a dozen times perhaps, and they'll be bawling their eyes out because the emotions are just heightened. So if you're in that state where you're very sensitive emotionally and you try to go and do all this trauma work, it's gonna take a toll on you because you're gonna feel those emotions amplified times 10, and it's gonna wipe you out. So it's better to do something like that when you are more functional. So acupuncture, massage therapy, chiropractor, that is a lot better when you're more functional. Now, you don't have to be completely symptom-free. I'm talking about you may have symptoms, but you can drive, you can go do groceries, you can walk around a mall, you can enjoy dinner with your family, you can socialize with your friends. If you're at that level of functioning, then yes, absolutely, acupuncture and massage and things like Chiro can really help you, because your body and your nervous system won't register that stimulus as danger on your nervous system. And it's actually gonna welcome it. It's actually gonna stimulate parasympathetic, which is what those things are intended to do for the most part. Now, if you have an actual structural problem, let's say you have an actual injury on your neck and you need to go to the chiropractor or you need to go to acupuncture to loosen that specific knot, something that is an actual physical issue that they could see, yes, then go work on it. But a lot of times it's like this giant loop, a lot of tight muscles. And let's say you have a tight neck, which is causing head tension, which is causing headaches. That is very stress related. That is due to a hypersensitive nervous system. Right now, if you actually fall on your neck and you pull it out, or you pull a muscle and you tweak it, then yeah, you might need to go get it cracked a few times from the chiropractor. So there are certain cases where, yeah, you kind of do need to fix those things if there's a structural issue. But for the most part, if you can save those treatments for later on in your recovery down the road when your nervous system can handle it. So these are the kind of topics we cover on this YouTube channel, and inside of any of our programs, we can help you specifically with your situation. So if you haven't already, subscribe down below, comment, is this something that you have tried? And if not, is it something that you're probably gonna look into doing once you're more functional down the road of recovery? So if you need extra help, you can click the link down below. You can learn more about the Recovery Academy. You can learn more about the different ways we can help you go from surviving to thriving. We help people all around the world every day get closer and closer to thriving health, many of them completely getting their lives back after getting diagnosed with these things that are believed to be incurable. So if they can do it, if I can do it, people all around the world can do it, you can do it as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Always remember that you are a thriver and you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. I'll see you in the next video.